Hello, Noel historians and scientists. It's Miss Rose here. Today we're talking about the digestive system. We've just finished a fascinating lesson about what happened to the Native Americans and how they were continually pushed west with this manifest destiny westward expansion, and ultimately forced into reservations in which their lives were changed so dramatically. Instead of living close to the land and living naturally, they were forced to live in reservations, and everything about their life changed, including the foods that they ate. And now we know that that had a huge impact on their health, particularly in terms of diabetes. So now I want to go into the digestive system. All right. And so let's see if we can get ourselves, here we go. This is the image that I'm looking for. So let's begin in the mouth. That's where we begin to digest our food. We eat something, say we're having a big juicy hamburger. Our teeth begin the process of breaking down our food by something called mastication or chewing. It's basically our teeth grinding down our food. And also it gets some help from some enzymes that help break down our food. And those enzymes are the salivary glands. And we see here, there's the parotid, sublingual, underneath the tongue, and submandibular, which means underneath the mandible, okay? So we begin to break down the food. And next, the food goes into the long esophagus, which begins this peristaltic motion, which is this contraction of muscle that keeps the food going. And the food eventually goes through the esophagus, which is the tunnel that goes from the mouth into the stomach. And then here we see the stomach, okay? Right above the stomach is the largest organ. Well, the largest organ you have is your skin, but the largest abdominal organ is your liver. And tucked underneath your liver is this tiny sac-like organ called your gallbladder, and your gallbladder is what stores bile, another enzyme that helps you break down particularly fats. Also tucked underneath the side of the stomach here is another organ called the pancreas. And the pancreas secretes a lot of things. One of the things it secretes is insulin, which regulates your blood sugar. And we know that the Native Americans had a high rate of diabetes because their diet was so dramatically changed. When you eat a lot of processed foods or foods that are high in sugar, when you begin to gain weight, your pancreas does not function as well, nor does the insulin that your pancreas secretes. But the pancreas also secretes a number of enzymes that help us digest our food. So we have now several of the items or the words that you found in the word bank all ready to go into the diagram. Mouth, esophagus, salivary glands, liver, gallbladder, stomach, pancreas. Now the stomach also has a lot of juices and acids that break down food. So by the time the food exits the stomach and starts to go towards the small intestine, which is all of this in the middle here, we have the small intestine and the large intestine. And this small intestine here is broken up into the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. And it's all this stuff in the middle here. The large intestine, or also known as the colon, is almost like a picture frame around the small intestine. And you see it. And it has several different parts. The ascending colon going up, the transverse colon going across, the descending colon going down. And then we have the rectum, which is where stool is stored, and then the anus, which is the other opening of your digestive tract. One opening is the mouth and the other is the anus. So let's go back into our stomach. Our stomach also has acid, and it is also breaking down the food, breaking down the food. So the food is like almost like a paste or a liquid, a very thick liquid, like a soup, when it exits the stomach and goes into the small intestine. First to the duodenum, then the jejunum, then the ileum. And the very last part of the small intestine, where it connects to the large intestine or the colon, is called the cecum. Okay. And then, of course, off of there, that attachment from the small intestine to the large intestine is the appendix. Okay. So the small intestine is where most of the nutrients from your food is absorbed by the bloodstream and taken to the body. So this is where all of the nutrients from what you eat. This is why the small intestine is so very, very important, is the nutritional value of your food is because the nutrition is absorbed from the small intestine. So now we move from the small intestine to the large intestine, and most of the nutrition from our food has been extracted. And we go into the ascending, transverse, and descending colon. And here in the colon, or the large intestine, is where the water is absorbed. Any excess water is absorbed from the contents of your colon. And so the small intestine is where your body absorbs nutrients, and the large intestine is where your body absorbs water. So now we see, as we come down the colon and we're resting here in the rectum, stool starts to become firm. The nutrients have been removed, so this is truly waste, and the water has been removed, so it's solid waste. Different than urine, which is water waste or filtration of your blood. This is really the waste from your food. And you see that it rests, it remains in the rectum until it gets to that size in which it begins to stretch the rectum. And that's when you get the feeling that you need to go to the bathroom. And then the stool exits through the anal canal or the anus. Okay. That is the digestive system from your mouth to your anus. It has many different parts. It has organs. It is the way in which we take in food and excrete waste and extract nutrients from the food that we eat. Any questions? Come see us in office hours. This diagram is found in your checkpoint, and I'm asking you to label 11 parts of this. They are the most important parts of the digestive system. And as always, we're available to help. Take care.